What's up, everybody? So we're here with Chris and Charles PeeWee Goldsmith. What's going on, man?
They want to stir the
Yeah.
pot. And that Mike Grogan guy, I didn't really have a lot of criminal history. And if the feds they have a point system or whatever, and they kept arresting me on just bogus charges that never stuck. But in Wisconsin, you get bail jumping. I was out on bail, and you can't fight a bail jumping if they arrest you when you're out on bail. And that Grogan guy, I left my house, probably not even a mile from my house. He pulls me over, and I got my son in the back of the car. And he wants to ask me some crazy questions. And I said, and then they take me downtown and show me some pictures of Kelly, the guy that's telling on me. And I'm like, I don't know who he is. And then that's a setup for me to call him to say, hey, they want to talk to you. They were asking me about you. And he goes, well, hey, don't say anything on the phone. I'll be right over. And that was the setup, how they get you to the wire. And then he tells me the same thing. Oh, I need one of these. You know what I
And
mean?
he was
Like
cooperating the whole time, right?
he was wearing a wire on me because he's like, the outlaws are down here. And it's just, and what they do to get you, especially when you're new, and like at the time when I was in the club there, it was tension, it was action. You know what I mean? Like the thrill of riding my motorcycle across Wisconsin through enemy territory every night. You know what I mean? From
Yeah.
Madison across the
Big
border
target on your back.
with a patch on the whole entire time, waiting to see it happen. And you know what? I did it every day. I did it every day,
Yep.
every day, all the time, every day, everywhere. And the outlaws probably wouldn't even know him because they were over in Milwaukee, even though it's only 60 miles away. They don't come over they weren't over by Madison. They were down in Janesville, but they didn't come
probably
up to where
didn't
I'm
care.
from.
They probably didn't care about you at the time.
It was right after the war in 94 and stuff.
I
So
mean, maybe they were like, they don't want you in this area, but they probably weren't actively out there looking for you like that. I don't know. Maybe back then, but like you said, the police like to stir shit.
if they
And they
were
like
actively
to,
if they were actively looking for me, it wasn't that hard. I didn't
yeah.
go anywhere. I was out in the public. My family owns a restaurant. I've lived in the same house. I went out all the time. Go into the Harley dealership. They wrote
So
an article about it like I said, on a Sunday paper in Milwaukee about that.
didn't Jay Dobbins and the other cops try to do the same shit with you, PeeWee? Bringing a wrapped up something to your house and saying, I need to get rid of this.
No. I meant that goon at a coalition meeting. I had a problem with the Bandito, and we weren't at war with the Banditos here in America. And I had a lot of good Bandito friends, but this one guy that was running the Banditos in Las Vegas, they got rid of him. They kicked him out of the club. They got rid of him. He was a clown. And the other guys were okay, but this guy was bad news. And he called me up and he started like calling me names and all this shit. I was driving truck. And he calls me on my phone and he starts, hey, you MF this and you freaking this and that. And he's going on. And I says, hey, man. I says, hold on. God, she popped in there. And it says, what the hell was I talking about? I lost my train of thought now.
About the Bandito.
Well, yeah. And they basically, I said to him, hey, we'll talk when we see each other. So I was going to wait till he pulled in the coalition meeting. I was going to tell him, hey, you want to talk that shit? And I was going to give him a beating, This guy, it would have been no problem. I was going to do it at the racetrack. But one of their own guys, who was a good friend of mine from Texas, he told me, man, can you just pass on it before it escalates into something really crazy? And because I had big respect for this guy, and he had a national spot in the Banditos, I said, all right. Yeah, I said, I'll let it go. But I couldn't let this thing go when he's calling me all these names.
Yeah.
So Joby, which I just seen that guy. Chris, did you see that?
I just asked you about it. I seen that. He's been gone forever. Like, where was he?
Where was he? Hey,
Yeah.
so yeah, I wanted to bring that up because my memories. I'm losing my memory here, whatever it is. But I'm saying, Joby, I turned it on. I didn't even recognize him. He's wearing a cowboy hat. He's got this long goatee, right?
Yeah.
And he goes, I was in the baddest motherfucking motorcycle club in the world. That's how he starts off. My name's Joby Walters. And that's all I saw of it. And then you'd have to go see the episodes, or somebody was doing a podcast with him.
Yeah,
And I didn't get to watch it.
Yeah.
But I'm going to tell you this, man. He, like Chris just said it, he disappeared. And it was weird the way he disappeared. And what really was weird is when the Laughlin thing went down, he went to jail.
right?
He went to jail for Laughlin shootings and stuff. And when he was in jail, he covered up.
I picked him up.
Huh?
I picked him up. Well, I picked Joby up.
That was the guy that you picked up at the.
Yes, I picked him up at the top of the Flamingo Casino and took him, drove him over to Bullhead City. He didn't have his patch on, but he lifted up his shirt in the car and showed me his Hell's Angels, his club tattoo on his chest. And because I was gonna pick PeeWee up in Laughlin, but they told him not to come there because of what happened, and I could get out of the casino because I was going to Laughlin because I wanted to be a Hell's Angel. Remember that, PeeWee?
Yeah, I was in jail in Sturgis, right?
Yeah. And so fast forward, the first ride I ever went on with the Rockford Charter, we went to Amjam in New York, upstate New York. And who do I see when I pull up there? Joby. And I wasn't a friend of the club. It was like the same week that I went down there and introduced myself to him with PeeWee.
Wow.
Yeah, Joby, when Joby came to Las Vegas, I told you he had Jay Dobbins with him and another guy. And the other guy was a Fed too. Not that I knew that. I knew it later, right? I'm just saying they were Feds. But I didn't know it at the time. He walked up to me and he says, hey, we're here. We got your back. And I went, yeah, okay. I said, just go stand by the fence there, because I didn't know him. And it's hard for me to trust people right away, So I just went, go stand by the fence. And he lifted his shirt up and he showed me he had a 45 in his pants, right? A piece. And he looks at me, he winks, he says, I got your back. I said, well, we don't even need that. And then I just put up my fist, I got these babies.
I got my back.
And I said, I'll just wait. So he stood by the fence and the bandits never came. And I'm going to tell you this. One of the other bandits that I know real good, that I talk to all the time, and I still talk to him, he told me that they pulled into a gas station about a mile and a half down the road from the coalition place. And they pull in for gas, and the feds come swarming in there and told them that we were waiting for them at the motorcycle coalition meeting. And I had a sniper up on the roof with a high-powered rifle. At the VFW post? Come on, I think they've seen enough wars.
Wow.
But that's the kind of
craziness that is the kind of crazy. He's exactly right. It would be so far from the truth. And you would be like, a sniper? Well, I gotta get a nuclear helicopter now or something like that. You know what I mean? It's just and when you're in the middle of that, like when I wanted to be in the club, I'm like, sign me up. I'm ready to rock and roll, do whatever I have to do, right? And it was just complete adrenaline junkie. And you go chasing ghosts. I'll call it ghosts. They got you chasing ghosts all over the place. Hey, we're gonna run down to I remember when I was in Rockford, David Allen Cole was playing at the Metro Center. Guys are all wound up to go down there to make sure that David Allen Cole acted right. No outlaws came to Rockford because they weren't in Rockford either. And because of that, me prospecting, now they got outlaws in Rockford too.
Wasn't there a situation with David Allen Coe, PeeWee?
Yeah. In Minnesota, there was.
Yeah, what happened?
No, he just came there to play at First Avenue, Remember where Prince did
Prince.
Purple
Yeah.
Rain?
Right around
that's
the corner
First
from where I
Avenue.
work. Yeah.
That's First Avenue. So he was in there. He was in the dressing room, and Pat Matter walked in there and told him, "You're not singing here, not in a Hell's Angel town." Me and Big Jerry were there, and there was I think Richard was with her. There was another member with. Anyway, they told me he ain't going on the stage and sing, and he says, "Come on, Pat," and then they had some words back and forth, and then he just said, "Don't get on that stage." And then they went out and said he had laryngitis. The crowd started booing. And then we went outside, and it was cold out. It was winter. And we got in the car. We had the heater run. We were about a block away. And we seen all David Allen Cole's guys come out with mirrors. They were looking underneath the bus. Because, like Chris said, those were the bad years. That was 1994. That was a bad one. Right, Chris?
Yeah. And then, and so fast forward, I was in prison with one of the dudes that was on 97 Jacks. He ended up
And Chris and I both went to prison for crimes that weren't like club crimes. Mine was a fist fight, and Chris was, you had the gun or bail jumping, right? But it was over. I thought it was a weapon charge or something.
Yeah, but you never got caught with a weapon, right? You never
got caught. And you know what? The reason why that I took the charges, my son that passed away later to see I had to choose between 10 years old or 15 years old. I wasn't willing to gamble the extra 5 years because I thought that it would be tougher for my kid because me and his mom never got as long. His mom was complete whack job. I attract whack jobs. PeeWee knows that too.
Chris found me.
No, hey, we were coming back from Laconia. Remember that when we stayed at my house, and this girl that told on me too. She tells me that first she told me that her dad put her and her sister and put them in pornos when they were little kids, right? And I was like, okay, I gotta go to Omaha now. See you later. But I went to San Diego. I went to Little Joe's funeral in San Diego. And I asked her to walk with my dog. I come home, she rearranged my whole house, landscaped my front yard. And that was probably in like June or something, I think, PeeWee. I can't remember. But then we go to Laconia. She calls me on my cell phone in Laconia and tells me that she told on me that she's gonna fly to wherever I'm at in Tyler, Texas, and marry me so she don't have to testify against me. And we come back to my house, and it was me, PeeWee, and a bunch of other members and stuff. And she moved all the furniture out of my house. My house was completely empty. Remember that?
Yeah.
Just Charlie was here waiting.
Wait, she told on you, and then she tells you I'm gonna marry you so she doesn't have to testify against you?
Before she told on me, she was telling on me this girl was just a complete whack job.
Well, hey, I got to bring this up. You know what was funny, Billy? I never asked Chris, hey, the being in the Hell's Angels costs you a lot of money. You can ask Chris. It's a very expensive club. You got to have money. You can't be a deadbeat. I was thinking, man, Chris has always got money, but I thought, his mom owns that, and his family owns that good restaurant. I mean, the steaks melt in your mouth there. I hate there, I know. I walk into Chris's house. He's got like 4 or 5 TVs up on the walls, and they're all going like all through all these games. I go, dude, you got enough fucking TVs? And he goes, I got to be up on all the games. And then I figured it all out. But he had this dog, what Akita, right? Is that what it was?
Akita,
yeah.
And he was huge, bro. Huge. And he'd walk around like he's on steroids all the time. He's all stiff. I didn't trust him and I didn't like him, right? But I gave him his respect because I knew he'd tear my face off. And Chris goes, yeah, he bit my girlfriend in the face or something. And then he's telling us all this shit. Then he goes down. He's in his bedroom at the end of the hallway. I'm sleeping on a couch out in the front room. And I get up to go take a leak. And I'm coming down the hall, and Charlie's laying in front. That's the dog's name, right? It's not the same as mine. But
Yeah.
Charlie's laying in front of Chris's door. I come walking down the hall, bro. He starts growling like, you better back up. And I didn't give a shit if I pissed my pants because I was going to mess with this dog. What do you weigh?
He weighed like about 135 pounds, but he was
Yeah, he
all
was
the
big.
key to
Just like my Roddy. That Roddy was 130. So, so
he
check
didn't
this,
like other people, other
check
animals.
this out,
He was a
Billy.
guard dog.
Yeah,
Billy,
what
this
you
is
do?
crazy. So I turn around real stiff and I walk away, not to let him sense my fear, right?
Yeah.
I walk away and I go back into the room where I'm sleeping. And then there's a door, there's a pair of patio doors there going out to Chris's backyard. So I go, oh man, I'll just go out here, you know.
Piss out in the yard, right?
Yeah, I'll just go out and piss in the yard, man. I'm not gonna mess around here, you know.
Yeah.
So I open up the door. Honest to God, bro, I go out, I shut the goddamn door, and I'm standing out there in the backyard, you know, standing there taking a leak. And all of a sudden I hear the door open, and I turn around, I look, it's the dog. The dog opened the door. And he comes walking out, and man, now he's walking real stiffly, like, oh yeah, we're gonna get it on. And I was standing there thinking to myself, whew, I hope these guys can hear me screaming out here. Because when I turned around, he walked over and he started smelling where I pissed. He lifted his leg up and pissed right over mine to show me this is his yard, not mine. I get back in the house, I shut the door like a dumbass. I should have locked it. You know what I mean? But I didn't think about it. I shut the door. I go lay down on the couch. I see the lever come up. That bastard lifts the lever up with his nose. He lifts it up. He comes walking in. Billy walks right up to the couch where I'm laying. I'm on the freaking edge of the couch, right? My face is hanging over.
Yeah.
He walked up that close to me. He was that close to my nose. And I could feel his breath blowing on me, right? And I can hear him. He's sniffing. He's just, picking up my scent. I'm laying there, hey, bro, I got my eyes closed. I'm not looking at him because I'm not trying to stare him down or nothing. And all I kept thinking in my head was, please don't bite me in the face. Please.